Hello. All right. So here's the deal. I definitely forgot that Limbus was updating today. I definitely forgot. And because of that, in my mind, I'm like, wow, I want a shiny hunt. I want a shiny hunt. And you know what I also want to do? I want to mess with my overlay a little more, but actually I like low key kind of forgot what everything is. Oh, and you can you can see my little cursor because Limbus is kind of weird. Oh my goodness. I wanted to put the little framey thingy. Is it this one? I mean, kind of. All right, can I oh no, this is actually extremely disorienting. And then you'll know my pain and suffering that I go through every single time I have to resize this. Also, it's not even the right color. So you know what? I changed my mind. It's leaving. Anyway, the more pressing matter is you may wonder, hey, dingus, what's in the bottom of the screen? Well, if my Joy-Con will connect. Yeah, that's right. It's my Pokemon, Fire Red. Where, ideally, this entire time, I will be doing Eevee resets at the same time as playing Limbus Company. This is a terrible idea because I'm going to have to click off the window every single time I want my counter to update. If I don't want it to update on my phone, also, I'm going to be multitasking. Hence, there is going to be a much higher chance of something bad happening, aka me skipping over a shiny unless I just get it. But yeah. Either way, that'll be like God, what is that game? That'll be your Subway Surfers. You can look at it if you're bored of visual novel, and I will be reading the story. Also, God, I am so far behind on my VODs. It's crazy. This is gonna be uploaded like a month after. God, that sucks. Anyways, I've not actually watched the trailer for this Intervalo, nor the characters, because it's the same. Usually I keep pretty up to date with that, but recently I kind of just like low-key don't really care. And I feel bad, but it's true. Also, I have chat on my phone, I think, because how I need to position my windows so I can actually see my game. It's going to be covering chat for me, so if I'm slow to respond to messages, my apologies. Anyways, oh my god, this is so disorienting. It's usually never on the right side of my screen. I may actually have to move it over a little. Hold on. No, this is workable. Anyways, I've done a ton of Mirror Dungeon, unfortunately. I hate Mirror Dungeon. I hate it. I hate it. It's so annoying. But I did get the event Merceau, so we will be using him today. Yay. I also plan on just oh, this is the team. This is the team that I plan on using. I mean, Otis is probably not going to show up. I should probably pick a better Sinclair. Sure, why not? And yeah, looks good. Anyway, I'm excited because I really like the Ring faction, so I'm excited that they've gotten more support. And from what very little I've seen of the Roja, she looks sick. And by that I mean I just mean her I don't even know what these are called, but like her art. Her art looks cool. And I guess that's what the Intervalo is about. But once again, I don't actually know. I can assume that it involves Sinclair and Gregor simply because of the of them being right here. Also, I sure hope they address Gregor. My man's is still in a fucking coma. What in the world? Yeah, funeral. Is this gonna be... I swear to God, if this opens on the funeral of Martin, I'm not gonna be happy. Also, I'm glad that the final boss for this isn't a story-relevant character, because I accidentally saw them because they kind of kicked my ass at first because I was win rating, and the win rate is kind of stupid for that boss. I need to not open my fucking mouth. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners, but never before had I witnessed this many people gathered in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Oh, right, they're not voiced. Oh, man, that makes things a little harder. Am I doing this right? Most of the sinners seem to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Is the music too quiet? Some were asking Merceau, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Merceau is actually kind of just like me for real. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if that objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with the solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I still haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all the important parts for you. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was just too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 onwards. Okay, but she's kind of real for that. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before? Back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah! Thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead? Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Oofy Association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to prevent family strife. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. Are we... The fact that this is only getting brought up now is a little hee-hee funny to me. It's fine. Cluckett, at least you remember. That's good enough, innit? It had to have been the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the events at Wuthering Heights had become warped. The sinners seemed to think that the Golden Bow had always been there in the manor, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. I'm a fake fan. I don't remember Linton's sister's name. I wanted to say it starts with an F. Was she, like, ever brought up at all? I feel like she was brought up one single time. Oh, good grief. What a great character. Ugh, I liked her. Nobody questioned it, not Don Quixote nor Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory, as if it was proven fact. Oh my god, everything is, like, low-key a little out of whack. I'm sorry, I turned up the music a little. If anyone has complaints, please let them be known. I can't really see them. Oh my god. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct them. Instead, we just check in on each other's memories every now and then. God, that must be so dramatic. Poor Heathcliff. I can be a hater, but I can recognize realness. Because if there's something that he and I had realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. Is this going to be Araya related somehow? The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of the funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will, I had I assume that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. At least they prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of a will. It seems that funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are... What is his voice? He's like soppy, wet, and pathetic. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations are not eager to grant time offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the price of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then, what options do people usually have? He used to just leave them where they died, and after a night's sleep, the bodies were gone just like that. Ah, they got swept. Better than paying loads of money to bury him somewhere just to have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that rot. Better to let the dead go in peace than to bury him in a grave just for some sods to later desecrate it. That is not his voice, but like, whatever. In Hongyan, people tend to set up graves if they were going... People tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee that they wouldn't lose those burial rooms by the next resurrecting day. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, damn, if you could just fall to your death at any time in a H-Corp, you really wouldn't care about proper funeral procedures. It'd probably be kind of impossible. Anyway. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. I'm so mad that they killed Martin. Adios foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed, another mendacity. They just make up words. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on to. Are those words from his heart, or just something to convince himself? Why did Martin have to die and not Alyssa? That's what's getting me. Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face, with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a quick few goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with a crackle of firewood. So, I suppose you'll be leaving now. Oh, we're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Gregor came to his senses a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said that there's no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous. To say the least, Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. God, my poor meow meow. He's older than me. So, you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while. Oh, yeah. Right. Don't piss me off. That plotline kind of pissed me off. Me? Yes, you. The LCU wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. The higher-ups didn't waste a second green-lighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more of a notice of investigation than a request for permission. What investigation? What are you? It's just a rather rudimentary insistence of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Not to worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy is all there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could vastly be— No! I'm not giving you my consent! For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get the boss to fend off the LCA Mirror World Observatorium Department and their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. And had we allowed them, they'd have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do to thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. Ah, just in time. Our researchers are here. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filing, oh my god, out of the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Good, get his ass. Oh, wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into a full-blown panic any minute. What about you? You not going with them? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. Jesus fucking Christ. Hell. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researchers seized Sinclair and carried, really, him away. Alright, we should get going too. Oh, do you all have somewhere to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Oh my god. I mean, got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they're trying anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know if you need anything later, Dante. The sinners fanned out in different directions. They seemed to have their own errands to run during her stay at LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only one keeping me company now were Ryoshu, who had been filling the air around with thick cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Me! Is she assessing Gesellschaft? You seem to have some time to spare, manager. Oh, my freaking mouse died. It's fine. As I stood there wondering what I should do to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There's something I had intended to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. What kind of assistance? WKOA, says CH. Wait a minute, did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate the gesture, especially since she's usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But I can't help but doubt whether a choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstruction of that which requires the interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem that we are in need of some more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea had crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCAA employees with her relentless questioning. Oh great, it's a Don Quixote intervallo. Who else, pray, might know where he is might know where he is if thou knowest not. Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bearer of hair fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there. Why don't you join us too? Dost thou speak of me? The LCAA personnel who were cornered by Don Quixote and her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. They could just leave regardless. She would run after them. Indeed, there's a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? Uh, I... For the sake of clarity and distinction, would it be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant? You are to be number 2. That is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded my exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speaketh thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to sinner number 4 has proven to be counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this WKOA eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me but a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Sinner Ryoshu's. They are asking what kind of assistant you need. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling in the present circumstance is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes that this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation to the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deem that the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the 5-pronged assault operation, and Sinner number 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go into the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA? House of Spiders right away. Horse! Horse! You have assisted enough. Perhaps you could help, Faust? Don immediately getting sidelined. My storyline. Sure. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There is one more member you should bring along. One more member? Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Oh yes, Kira! Why is Kira the only one who gets to live? This is just me being sad about Lucio. I'm sad about Lucio. I'm sad about all of them, but that's because most of them got, like, nothing. They got little itty-bitty crumbs. Kira only gets crumbs by side effect of her being the only one that lived, and Lucio had a semblance of character. I'm sorry to the other ones. I don't dislike them, but it's true. If they were removed from the story, nothing would change. That's what I'm trying to say. Kira, she's regained consciousness. Slay Kira. But, like, Kira could be replaced with literally anyone and it would be, like, the same, right? We agree? Anyway. Wait, this music is kind of crazy good. Anyway. I can listen to it later. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery room and more like an interrogation chamber. It has the beep, 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 and it's got IVs, and it's got the freaking bed. That's gonna be me in a couple months. Though every single medical equipment installed around seemed to be state-of-the-art. This place looks well-equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process, while keeping the cost reasonable. What happened to her again? I don't remember. Reasonable, huh? Do I even want to ask how expensive the other options if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room, thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection. Oh, yeah, wait, no, I kind of remember. I remember what happened to her, but I don't remember, like, her being cut in half. She didn't look much different from how she appeared when I'd seen her through the sinner's shared vision. What was her voice even? She was captured alive for the extraction of the information, yes? How far along is the process of the extraction? It hasn't begun, actually. We're waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have been fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. Then, what's she even doing here? There was work to be done, contingent upon information available only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I've decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books, just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. I forget her voice. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for your help. Put to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or, shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. She's a fucking kid! I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live. Not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. So you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. And I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicates such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increase your value in the eyes of the company. Ha! Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? Heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, and extract any and all information necessary without going through such intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestions, and electrical shocks and stimulations, and, of course, procedures utilizing distortions and abnormalities. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so freaking annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push and bring her along. I don't seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone, quite unexpectedly, made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. Little self-sacrifice ain't a thing in family. Huh. Family coming from him. A metal mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous even to you? That's... thrown out. That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up bad. He was still family by name, but underneath it everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Ain't that lore the one that was allegedly in his text boxes? Oh, so you're saying that, hiding the lore in the text boxes is still gonna get brought up anyways? Interesting. Me when I think. Same treatment from me, being his brat. Not surprising it's the ST for the bowl cut, too. Same tastes? Oh! Young Ryoshu, could it be that thou also dost harbor a passionate zeal for fit? She meant same thing. I quickly clapped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So, what exactly is your point? The point is you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. CQ, or I'll sink right this instant. What does that mean? Cooperate quietly, or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. This is so crappy. Whatever, I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. Holy shit, it actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyways, Yoshihide, what's up with you talking in weird-ass abbreviations? Like... SYNC. That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply and simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. But is this really the right call? We're probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, Clock. They even confiscated her book. You think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides, now better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's 'cause... well, 'cause Papa was weaker than y'all. Yeah, you're the jerk's brat, all right. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who had been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded. Come. You'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? I can't even unsheath it. You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. The back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Well, we got her anyways. It's so chill. But also a little spooky. Wayfarer. Oh boy, I'm gonna take a silly little gander and say that methinks the enemies that we will be facing are Falvists or Index members. Oh, we can use anyone. Fair enough. Wait, this is a great chance to reset my order. Yeah. Wait, Bug, congrats on being first. First, very tasty. Yippee. Hello. Welcome. Oh yeah, of course the ring unit that just came out is the one that gives more stuff. Ugh, I can't even get the Rhodia, so I'm stuck with stupid partial blood fiends. But we'll bring them along. Hashtag my ring. I love them. And then... this seems good. Then we could bring these bozos in the back. We still can't use Gregor because he's in a... They put my man through the trenches again. Wait until he talks to Sinclair and he learns, what do you mean there's gonna be War 2? Smoke War 2? What do you mean? Oh my god, stop talking about La Mancha Land. That was so a year and a half ago. They cleared out his gallery, bruh. Only a few days had passed since our last visit. Actually, it was at the end of January. Actually, the middle of January. Jesus Christ. It was that short. My god. Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were affixed all around the back doors. Why do they have to go so-called artworks? Like, yes, it's gross to make art out of human bodies. But you can't say that it isn't art, all right? Let's not get all puritanical about this. With all the nonsense that happens in the city, it's like the cannibal district, or not the cannibal district, but like the cannibal street in that one district. I forget which one. It's like, even if you make human pie, you can't say so-called food. It is food. You're just not gonna eat it. Unless you're a cannibal, in which case you're gonna eat it. Ridiculous. Prithee, who might those people thither be? Okay. Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is Team Leader Allen from Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. That's one letter away from my favorite Library of Ruina General Reception character. Wayfarer Company? A corporate entity partnered with the Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on one prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corp, though the name is an unofficial one. Our employees have also taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing the same horizon. Alright, so we're gonna form an alliance, and we're gonna have a bunch of companies on our side, and we're gonna throw a big battle to try and take control over the city. Yes? Oh, I remember that company vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. After all, the old L Corp had already fallen, while W Corp, from what I've heard, is free-falling at this point. And these are the manager and the sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit frequently deployed to deal with the on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining the investigation efforts. I understand. Field operation units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. What the hell? That was so loud. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Oop. Dog barking. People returning. Anyway, he looks like someone. He looks like another Project Moon character. He kind of looks like Emma. Wait, is it Emma? Or was Emma the black-haired one? Whatever. The gays from Library of Ruina that got turned into clowns. He looks like the blonde one. Pleased to meet your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to the script that he had rehearsed. Oh my god, me. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp to leverage to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public, but, what's that product part about? The manager said it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when the both of you are available. Sure. I'm getting weird vibes, though. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He is referring to the Monolith Sales Project. The credit was attributed to LCB at the express request of Mr. Hubert, T-Corp's executive director. Oh my god, Hubert mentioned. Oh, so that's how that rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now, I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them if you don't mind. What a fucking dweeb. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing. If it's about Robo-Unk and his room, who the fuck translated this? Robo-Unk! Oh no, good grief. I mean, I've seen Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farm? Oh, it's, gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that. She'd come back hauling piles of them. So, they're probably connected to some backstreets area. The backstreets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. He's high-key pissing me off, but I kind of like him. What? That's literally all I got, for real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And even before I could register what happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch by Alan. Why the fuck is he smiling like that? What is wrong with this man? Ugh! I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge such a surprise attack easily, but this one seemed to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there blinking, eyes rounded in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow felt off. The fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, but it just didn't look normal. Well, maybe he's thinking with portals. Did you just hit me? What the hell is wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? Ah. With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. Okay, never mind, I hate him. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I had simply assumed the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Okay, he's a mega jackass. I still like him a little, but he sucks. Team leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. Ah, my apologies. I'll keep that in mind going forward. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied with how Hohenheim handled the situation. Oh, so he gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free. So frickin' annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan, although she would be completely justified in doing so. That punch just now, what was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics, that's what I'm saying. Presumably a form of technology utilized by the Wayfarer Company. Let us resume the task at hand. Ryoshu, put your sig out. Give Manager Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. The other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But IHNI, where they actually led us, it's all blurry. It seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? Well, we know now that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company backdoors mapping process. Or progress, whatever. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. All right then. I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? I'll start with the one Ryoshu mentioned. You don't trust me at all, huh? Then why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. All right, let's see what's in there. Ah. Definitely a very different vibe. Okay. But taking the art at totally face value. We're not arguing over the morals of making art out of human bodies, okay? We can all agree, not great. But, like, this is already so much more of an engaging gallery space, and it also, like, fits with the theme. Because from what I got from Merceau's Uptie story is that the Fauvists are about connecting with they're about connecting with beasts and one's, I don't know, bestial nature. That's why they like animals. That's why they graft animals onto themselves. And presumably why they stitch a bunch of animals together to make weird chimeras. But like the space is already so much more interesting because they have all these fun colors on the wall. Meanwhile, what I don't understand is, God, what is what's-his-face's like movement called? I don't know. The like, corporism. I'll be honest, I don't even really get what it is. I thought it was making stuff with your own body, but I mean, he has other artworks, so that doesn't seem completely correct. Whatever. His gallery, for their whole thing being like, presumably celebrating the intricacies of one's own body and how it moves, how it reacts to stuff. The gallery being just a blank white space is so uninspired. No wonder you're not getting any inspiration for your art, because the space that you're displaying it in is so lame. Not even hospital-friendly red on the carpets. Nothing. It's so sauceless. What was he thinking? Is he stupid? He's also dead, so I don't think he cares anymore. I don't know. I feel like if you're having an art midlife crisis, you wouldn't want your gallery space to be so sterile feeling. If you're trying to connect with the people. That feels a little counterintuitive, you know? Anyway, shut the fuck up. I'm just saying that this gallery space is more interesting. That's literally all I'm saying. Is this some sort of wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues or perhaps taxidermy animals. It felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Holy shit! The scale is just insane! That's a whale from the Aid Association Great Lakes Special Issue! Kira, who'd seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Aw, man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. And the Indigo Elder solo one-shots these things with that harpoon of his, ah! It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like one that we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here, singularity modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? No, they're not, duh. Though Robo-Unk did say that the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Whoever translated this, I'm gonna fucking get you. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here's dead. Meh. Still looks crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horn display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way that she couldn't hide. Honestly, she would love a natural history museum with dinosaurs. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Yeah, the Killjoy. Also, an ad break will be starting soon. Don Quixote? The eyes of a second kindred, of House Tepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, staring with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the school of is it Fauvism or Fauvism? I'm going to assume it's Fauvism. Probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro atelier. Is it atelier or atelier? I don't know. And an auction house. Alan. We'll be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning towards the shoes, like they look sick. Turning toward the sound of shoes clacking on the floor, we found strange figures wearing animal masks staring directly at us. That presence. It's kind of like Papa's. Aw, shit, are we gonna have to fight a fucking maestro enemy? Ain't no way! That's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating is not a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. Thank you, Bianca, for the 34 months. That was really bad. Anyways, hi! Hi! I didn't read your message earlier because I was reading. Oops. That's almost 3 years. That's kind of insane. That is kind of insane. Why did you have to say that? Every single time I look at my, like, Lobotomy Corporation play data, I get, oh my god, the passage of time. Holy shit. Did I even read this? Oh yeah. We need to stall them until fuck-ass Alan gets the lockdown. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. Oh my goodness! Are all ring people gonna be super chill? You came through that door. And the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A little stray spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you wouldn't recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if my memory serves right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of a living prey, and the predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Arr! Rings a bell? That maestro whose lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living beings. Benoit, was it? Why are they French? Are you resetting EVs at the same time you're reading? Yeah. Yeah, I am. And next to the EVs, you can see what number I'm on. That's how many resets I've done. So I'm over odds. Huge multitasking. Honestly, it's not been that hard. I thought it wouldn't work out, but it's... like, I've been managing. That's right. Emile Benoit. Why are they French? And they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's. Don't presume. I only remember you because of the tactility of your hides and guts, made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like Ryoju was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. Casually checking if each one is shiny while also reading out loud and keeping track of chat would probably break my brain. I don't know how I'm doing it, to be honest. It's high key because I can look at the border of the box that Eevee appears in, and if it's purple, I know it's not shiny. Which is a lot easier to see than the little sprite. See, because you see Pidgeot has a blue border, and Eevee, because it's not shiny, has a purple border. Also the little star icon. Oh, but I had a feeling she was in fact dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. That lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim, the lockdown sequence. Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members, an incensed glare sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. Do you have to manually increase the number too? Yes, I do. I have to click off Limbus Company and click the number, so if it adds up doubly, like if I count 2 at a time, my bad, it's because my mouse is fucked. Wait, did I... Yeah. I'm afraid that the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. We're gonna get fucked up. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A? Any discussions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim, oh my god, had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith in potentiality is not something that I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, Arayashiki. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long wanted to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling him that we're just leaving, not gonna work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses, and Ryoshi is the wielder of Araishiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to rouse a golden bow in my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us, but even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Are you sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, Clock. Think of that woman as Lei Hung. Oh, woman? Holy shit. And do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. What does HC stand for? Right, that's probably our best shot. What Ryoshi meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, then catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. Oh, Heathcliff. A cut from the Araishiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docs. Is it docents or docents? Women alert! Oh my goodness. Heartwarming. The lead chimera maker is a woman. I don't know how to describe this, completely divorced of context. I literally flipped back because I heard woman and that got me alerted. Can't express. Oh, just mentioning that this character is a woman. Boy, you gotta be careful about alerting me of women. It's not my fault. I couldn't tell. This character is so gender that I couldn't tell what they wanted me to interpret her as. The cryptid-looking beast? Yeah. That's a human person wearing a lot of stuff, so not actually a cryptid. A person. Although, maybe she's grafted some stuff onto herself. I don't know. But she is French. Can't win them all. If you look closely enough, there's some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. Oh god, she's so much hotter than I thought. Oh no, fuck. Oh no. Oh, French, never mind. It's over. It's kind of funny. Why is the ring French? And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. Or is it Emile or Emily? I don't know. Which is why I would prefer... Wait. Yeah, I have no idea, actually. Which is why I would have preferred to take you out without an unnecessary fight if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here, a masterless one at that. Acquiring the Araishiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste. Hello? French is so weird. It could be literally anything. That's what I'm saying. Y'all format words in a way that is difficult for me to process. Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. Oh my goodness, she can't do it. What's the matter? How? The lock the House of Spiders used to bind the Araishiki no longer exists, so why? Araya's looking at her mom from the grave. No, it's not time yet. Why can't I draw the blade? Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? Bonjour, le m'appelle How would the French say apple? No! What are you saying? What is potage? The maestro only gave a loose swing of her arm, but it was enough to make Ryoshi recoil. A shadow of a surprise crossed her face. Oh, the word apple is palm. Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. My bad. It looks like apple. I only know one language. Hee hee. The wound looked nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm, oh my god, and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't that hard to guess what she was thinking. You noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? Ugh, what are you on about? Ask any student and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing. The answer is truly the cute little puppy dog eyes. The maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty, then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for this jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should say that I admire their structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. Oh! What the hell is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long, serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the nurse fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? 1 minute to go. Step inside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. As I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities, something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. Oh my god, it's Kira! Yeah! And the one who intercepted the blow. Shit! Was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her still sealed blades. Oh! Because the Falvists graft their art pieces to their bodies. So she probably, it's like that one boss from Elden Ring that I don't know, but I'm saying it anyway because it's kind of the same. Instead of she puts a dragon head on her arm, she puts a snake on her arm. This big ass snake. Slay. Kira! Her ass is cooked. Did she suddenly have a change of heart that I wasn't aware of? Shit! This wasn't in the plan at all. Okay, obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha, you must be the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fucked if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it, they're defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even... Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't fully shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Ugh, shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with that monstrous limb, but... Huh? 'Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed through the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the arm with her full might, knocking it off its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. Jesus Christ. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I'll seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust, retrieve the organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat as though she knew full well the fate that awaited her. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking, diving in like that? You, don't just stand there. Get over here, now! Huh? But these guys are gonna come flooding in if I... You, TTM, you want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're gonna pay. Blocking the maestro's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself toward the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the maestro could cross over. Ball cut. Think you could still use your arms. I'm fine. So she says. Kira would be a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners and I at my side would not have been the best course of action. In that case... Guys, I assume you're all still available right now? As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. I was wondering how they would get back to fight with us. Huh? I guess so. Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Hang on, I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me, now! Finally, a break. Alright, gamers. It's time for my favorite part. Oh, we get the broken Malkuth. I see. Oh, hey, Limbus. Hi, Shuri, dude. And yes, we're Limbusing. We're doing the new Intervallo, because I forgot that it came out, but yeah. Also, I'm still shiny hunting Eevee. It's in the bottom right corner. Anyway, interesting that they're still going with the Malkuth stuff. Yeah, just win. Lamau. Oh yeah, I get to use Numerso. I don't actually know what his animations look like. And we get to see all my new goobers. God, the audio's so loud. Sorry, the audio is like so loud during battles and so quiet outside of it. Is it okay or is it still loud? Wait, no, I saw struggling. Whatever. I'm never gonna get this shiny Eevee. Oh my god. I clicked off. Fuck. Everything's bad. Okay, we're good. Ah! My Firefox isn't responding. Okay, it's good. It's fine. Yay. Yeah, I also have Honglu and Albina Faust, or Ring Honglu and Faust. So yay, you get to see them. I'll be honest, I have no idea what these enemies do. God, it feels so weird not to play Bleed without, or to play Bleed without Enfaust. I say good riddance, because I hate that character. I've been a denier of Enfaust for years. And I'm glad people are finally seeing the light. Only because there's an actual alternative now, instead of just benching Faust. Which, to be fair, is also a viable option. Which is what I did. It was benched and Faust, because she has a good passive. Whatever, you get it. This Eevee should be shiny today. It would be so cool and swag. You can see that I'm almost to 10,000. Ring Honglu's really good. They're syncing. Are they actually syncing? Or is it syncing as a formality? I was just going to use them on a Bleed team. I like my syncing team. I also just like them as a pair because I think that they're cool. I don't know how they work, though. I just like the ring. Ain't no way I leveled up Merceau just for his ass to get dunked on immediately. Bruh. What are we doing? Okay, that's a classic. Manager Dawn really does not want to be benched. Maybe she'll actually wait, I've never seen this full animation before. How do you trigger it? Why are there two people talking at the same time? Why are there multiple ending lines at the same time? The more correct way would be to add Bleed with syncing. The marks they apply add more potency. I see. See, because now the music is so quiet. Anyway, I was wondering because, you know, you have the Blood Fiends who are Bleed with Rupture, but you're not playing them as Rupture units. It's just like flavor text. It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. Closing time, you'll see it a few times. Yay! I've not gotten to see it yet. I swear, I thought that was it for me back there. Events of nature won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you're not gonna trust me? Weirdos. We would have opened them all at the end of the day, SD. SD. What's that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's WA. Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task. But the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without any casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Oh my god, Kira, hi! Yeah, Kira's back. I'm sad that she's the only apprentice that lived. They all deserve to live. Those poor kids. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. This guy... I had a very, very distinct realization. He gives nice guy. He's a nice guy. Oh my god. I love women. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, why does nobody want to date me? I'm like such a nice guy. And then when he actually interacts with women, he... Flashback to him decking Kira in the face. Unprompted. Those Falvis won't be able to cross over anymore with the door completely locked down. Right? Don't tell them who the final boss is. That cannot be asserted with certainty. You're saying there's gonna be more? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf clock, and those Falvist beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. And if they have that much history, they must know many backdoors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what Ryoshi was hinting at. Yeah, but we don't... Maybe we do fight, Benoit. Yes, compared to them, we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Click. Thank you. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely that they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. Huh? They could always rush in for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvist Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility of additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are completed, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block any infiltration attempts. The operation is more important than I thought. And aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? It's definitely Araya saying, no, 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 no. We're not doing this now. Ryoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. And that's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering most faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed. Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshi was talking about the scabbard. Her daughter's like, yo, what the fuck did you just say about me? Ryoshi's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting toward the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard brought back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, do you? Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's, probably neither of those, nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination, my bad, of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Feel free to go on ahead. The attack just damaged some devices, so we're gonna have to perform some maintenance before continuing. There's plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Like, we all agree that we're gonna beat this guy up. Are we to return to headquarter research facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There is a facility here that should prove more than adequate. Okay. Maestronimi. No. He's so strong that Yisong is only third. This is so sad. Relics and the sign. Oh, the thing that I don't care about as much. He's still talking. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base constructed by Limbus Company following the Operation Spider-Pyre. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair, who had a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who had dragged him off earlier. Hold on, I need to switch Joy-Cons. They are accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination take? With Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded, the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means that it should be finished in an hour from now at the latest. The scabbard rattled against the mention of an hour. Damn, she's mad. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. Also, may I just say, if we can flash back to Canto 9 theories, people were like, oh my god, the sword is her kid. Well, now it seems like it's true, except she's the scabbard. It's moving again. Come along, Ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Ryoshu and Hohenheim headed off to the side. The examination was probably going to start immediately. Also, my nose is still fucking itching like yesterday. Time to get to Sinclair, then. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions, when an unexpected figure behind the pillar caught my eye. Holy shit, it's the Blue Man Group. God damn it. It was Vespa. I was gonna call him Crabro. Carabro. Wait, no, Crabro. It is Crabro. Crabro. Bruh. What is that name? With a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped on his back. Snack thief? Manager. Charon snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. How could you do that? Sorry, I think there must have been some misunderstanding. Verge, kick his ass. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Charon also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you to exercise more caution next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. He wants to beat him up for his kid so bad. Understood. Charon, super sulky mode engaged, not talking for half day. Deploying super pass bitter candy. Beep beep, mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It is a little inconvenient for me. Charon forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Charon peeled the snack thief sign off of Vespa's back, and it was definitely Rodian's fault. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Oh no, maybe he is just snackish. Wait a minute, I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. She's just like me for real. Well, now you know, yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Ugh, he took my snack too. Verge, kick his ass. Rodian last name. Romankovic. I am aware that that half the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses, and now you're raiding the LCE supply as well. Chill. That's totes been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that, and this is this. Stop with the fan service. Stop! Shut the fuck up. The lines on Virgilius' brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of his endless cycle of snack-related headaches, and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, Manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility to the phenomenon, the only verifiable information so far is
The only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. I didn't know that. Also, I totally didn't know that Dante had the sign. I'm a fake Dante lover. At the same And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate that no such suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. I see. By individual bearing signs, you mean people like Demian and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some super-powered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia. I should step in and put an end to the subject before Roja gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right. Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, those layers of light rings Demian used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that doth seem possible. So, none of that is information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proved yet, ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at present. This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that of the fundamental principles of the signs working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. Hello? Oh my god, I didn't even pick it up. I see. So nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for research then. Oh, you also thought it was being dragged off, but still let it have it anyway? No, I mean... I'm just kidding. I thought I'd tried going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think. Has he, though? So, did anything happen that we should worry about? I stuck close to him just in case. Nothing serious came out. Just took some blood, a skin sample. Oh, and they were also checking if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, and I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return. No. I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said they only exist with my future self, so... See, but that makes sense, because it's like... He wasn't even... This little Sinclair wasn't even there. Big Sinclair was doing all that shit. So of course he doesn't remember. He wasn't there. But wait, for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, it would seem, in such a case. No, because then the younger one doesn't have the memory and you only get it when you're older and you do the thing. That doesn't seem paradoxical to me. That Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that constitutes a certain future would scatter into grains more fleeting than dust, too diminished to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that exists now. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again. More of that nonsense only you lot understand. She's saying there's so many options that for the memory to come back would be like really, really slim. Aye, memory or not, that future guy still came at him, didn't he? Then some part of him's got to be left in there somewhere, yeah, like muscle memory or whatever. Perhaps he can still pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you got kicked off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick you picked up from that, plastered old geezer, yeah? Not just that, he was using that Mong technique quite effortlessly, too. What? The glowing ring thing? Yeah, the glowing ring thing. He had 2 of them coiled around his weapon. I used the glowing ring thing! Do we know what Shin and Mong are? I, like, genuinely do not care. But do we know? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is the glowing ring thing? Anyone? Okay, ignore me. Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you really tough is one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? I don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they pass down to their members. Technique, gear, something like that. Oh my god, this is just exposition for me, the reader. Fuck! Get me out. Look at it. That black coney leader, that lay-hung prick. And the nurse fathers we fought, whole lot of them fingers, ain't they? The humble, but then they're gonna be like, actually, but Virgilius can also use it. What is that about? And then they're gonna explain it. The notion seems to unravel, for even among the LCD there were those who came to wield it. And Virgilius, too. So what? The only proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? I can predict the future, actually. Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze toward Virgilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader. From my team leader, too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. Wait. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Is this not the radical for heart in Mandarin? It looks, if it's not, it's very, very similar. However, what I can spare are some rumors, though they are all without proper source. Rumors? They are circulated among elite fixers and association leadership. That there exists a power called Shin, capable of... It's probably more like Shin. Capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor among fixers, sayest thou? Yes. Even the technique to manifest it, how-to tips, really, spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid, bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farm with a shiny Mong wrapped around the weapon. Shin is the aura, Mong is the rings. Okay. So Shin is the defensive one and Mong is the offensive one. But what does Mong mean? Assuming Shin is heart. It must be that mine eyes are yet to be privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Oh my god, wait, are you serious? It's in the latest issue, literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it. Video, tape? Alas, for many a week I've been stranded from Mephi reaping me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe is me! When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut into the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the mantle of Shin grants its user a high degree of physical enhancement.
I high genuinely hate that they're just explaining it to me. Like, bro, I don't care. There's no such thing as reinforcement without supplies. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation. Don Quixote is old. Yeah, but she also said that she hadn't had access to the things. But also, yes, she doesn't know what a videotape is. And depending on how you use it, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say that it exists a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I've observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume we can make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research. And according to her, the physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, God, what a stupid name. It is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training. Vespa brows visibly twitched the moment the Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. Yellow Harpoon. See, like, it's not good, but it's not atrocious. Well, I think it fits. I mean, he has those yellow stripes on his clothes, and he uses a harpoon. Can he really argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi Song's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? No, my soggy, wet, pathetic wife. Well, that's 'cause you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. And yet he consistently has the most cracked IDs. Make it make sense. Ah. How dare they? Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. Yellow Stinger would have been better. It would, but also Stinger is kind of lame. Like, what else would... Yellow Hornet sucks ass. That's just his name. Wait, as long as you are bound by contract to Sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. This is literally just Exposition Central. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it too? Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the middle nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mong. Papa never told me how to use it. He said I could get stronger without a stupid crutch like that. It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of even comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. What's his lore again? Don't say read Distortion Detective. I'm not gonna do it. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she simply couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is, assuming that the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you're nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the Sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line and you will be the one who pays the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could argue with.
Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting that decision doesn't mean we have no hard feeling towards her. You say that, and yet look at the company we keep. Look at Miss Otis. We had that whole thing during Canto 7. No matter what Otis did, we would accept her because she's part of Limbus company, and that's my job as manager, speaking from the POV of Manager Dante. Me when I think. How's it gonna feel when she's actually Jane Warcrimes? She's killed thousands of people. What then? Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. And before we knew it, Ryoshi returned. Huzzah. Oh, question for the knowers. If anyone knows, how many stages is this intervallo? I hate that it doesn't tell you so much. I'm assuming 14 tops. Maybe like 12. That's why I tried to start early, but geez, it's already been almost 2 hours. Alright. To present the conclusion first, no, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yes, that would be the most appropriate description. Not a sentient sword. Ryoshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Arai's like, damn, sorry! Somehow I feel like I could understand by what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has a will of its own, does that mean that the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it could be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable, and that the reconstitution of the original corporal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of laypeople like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present, Manager Dante. Such managers are reserved for a scientist to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, brother, that could lead to restoring Sinner Ryoshu's memories, though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to pursue at the moment, nonetheless. And, to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should still be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut, as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. All right, then. Before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, the sinners were all pretended they weren't interested at all. But, going by the way that their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they had been intently listening on our conversation. Where are we to go? Oh, right, sorry. Forget the rest of you weren't actually there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, Ryoshu, and I have been checking where each back door leads. Oh, yeah, Kira too. The prisoner of war, executive manager? What, are you talking about me? Yeah, I guess. I'm working with them too, yeah. Best remember to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you will be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatevs. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking point, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it would be better if we had a few more people just to be safe. One of the doors we went into earlier led straight into the rings corridor. That was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, Executive Manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis, my goat. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, Executive Manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone you're concerned about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command... This cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just kneel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy. I better stick by your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. I guess you could just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. The research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it has found closure. I don't think I could be of much help where you're going. I'll pass. I will follow if that is your order, Manager. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. For now, I should go see Alan again. We hate Alan. Rah, rah, rah. Also, I feel like the ads are about to start soon. And they should start soon because once they start, I'm gonna take a tiny itty bitty break. Oh, wait, we're a third of the way through? Bruh. Oh, I thought that said Sora. Saru is the dog, yeah? Can we make any exchanges for gifts? No. All right, there we go. Ads are going to start soon. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be back when the ads are done. See you then. Yep. Hi, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. But let's continue. All right. Easiest way to do it is from here, Saru. You get to learn about the dog. Hold up. What is clear statistics? Oh my goodness. I get to see what my friends have done. Okay, that is pretty funny. Will I take any of this? Oh my god. My encounters per hour are so fucked. They all cleared them in 5 or 6 turns. I'm a little scared. This person is kind of using the team that I'm using. I hate Red Eyes Ryoshu. It must be said. I am that unit's biggest denier. Ah, you've arrived. I was waiting for you. Wait, am I unmuted? Yes. Yay! Why does the music sound different? Thinking. We've sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Uh-huh. Gatekeeping. Are you saying you have more to tell us about gates? Doors? Yeah. That door over there, pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in, all hyped up about some canned, whatever it is. That wooden door with the bandages wrapped around the handle, Papa would go in there to cross out vengeances. From the book said it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Unlike unlike earlier when she offered only vague snippets about even just a single door. Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid to even someone as clueless about the back door as me. She's far more cooperative than anticipated, even after that Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. Yeah, you'd think she'd clam up out of spite. Wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we mustn't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she'll turn on us. Frickin'! I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. All right. Based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, I'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Where do you guys want to go first? Yeah, look about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say that these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which one. I don't believe his ass. Just as I reached for the nearest door, as Heathcliff told me to, Ryoshu suddenly veered off, stopping in front of another one that was a few steps apart. This door... it feels familiar. You recognize this door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had Ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory, painted over in part, slipped into my mind. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know, let's go for a walk. But I don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to Araya? Let's start with this door, then. Okay, this one, yeah? Here we go. Impatient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is... judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely, a park. Every sod here's dragging some animal along. Means they've got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk, the past Ryoshi mentioned in memory, and the sight of people fussing over their pets. This is about the dog. The pieces clicked together, and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh no, that's the cutest puppy ever. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know, you want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? Aw, baby. There's this workshop Dad always visits. The door there is connected to a park. We can go right now. Oh. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright in my vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Verily, such gentleness doth seem most unlike the young Ryoshu. Hey, clock! Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, I... Come on, you know that's not something I can control. GG. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memory seemed to manifest for everyone around, just like what we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Which, probably means... Why are y'all staring at me? That's so random! What the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was with Lin Daiyu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound thy companion of old, young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. And because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on a mission, with a spiral driven through her. My God. The first ever leash Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal, how can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room, crying. You were? Not someone else? Who else? Oh, see, it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff seemed utterly unconvinced. Damn, Heathcliff, kind of a dick move. While I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. He said he would give me a gift the next day. And what I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade, a tanto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way! I always knew there was something creepy with Robo-Unk. That's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. A tanto was alive. Did you say it was alive? Bloody hell. Right nutter, that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it like adornments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beats as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight. Then I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. What do you still want to mess with that art thing, then? Let's be honest, after seeing something like that, you'd want to steer well clear, yeah? Right. Those things he called artworks were all so cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. I kind of hate how she talks. Like, I haven't really checked out the other ring artworks outside Albina and Nurse Fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that, but yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes, for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first, yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? Are we forgetting what Ryoshu is like in the earlier cantos? Yes, of course she does. From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible. There's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. Can't say I quite get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell, how do you end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it, but that bastard Callisto's installation artworks cause night terrors and nightmares for... Ah, the scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled, but there was at once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors, crying from nightmares, in the House of Spiders. There was actually someone who got scared of ring stuff back in your day? I need to check something. We've seen enough. Let's go back. Yeah, let's. There's nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks, covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here. There used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed to practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Mommy? What's wrong? Over there. I thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. Mommy, people were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced to the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem.
It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will.
Ah, sniffle.
Let's get you back to your room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No. Too big to be Saru.
The lacerated memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it would never truly reach her.
I see. This hollow void. This must be Araya.
The sensation and emotion for what's been emptied begin to entangle with Ryoshu's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. All right, it's time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately none of the places that we ended up stirred Ryoshu's memories any further. Pretty much nothing in here. I think we're done. What, how did they get in here? Startled, Kira pointed a finger ahead where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before. Didst thou not say thou hast sealed that door earlier? Then how then did these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you can see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the ring nurse father's artworks.
Get on with it! We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out.
Wait, I thought Robo-Unk was washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here.
Does his artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Some pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both our companies. Watching them sweating and struggling to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled with some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques. Pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm the Wayfarer and LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Otis is right. Better to wipe him out before they try anything stupid. Guys, looks like we got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time, but it should be fine. Surely. Sorry. Blech. Allergies are actually fucking me up. Assistant librarians. I love the library. Oh my god, this sucks so bad. Hold. I'll mute for a sec. Okay. So something that's like low-key kind of annoyed. Wait. Something that's low-key kind of annoyed me about Callisto is specifically just the name of his artwork. Like the blade that he made with his entire body is called Tibia. That's a stupid fucking name. Because is this not supposed to be a full display of what your body is? Why are you naming it after a bone that is in your body? One bone. One leg bone. 2 leg bones. You have 2 legs, probably. It's stupid. It's been bothering me this entire time. I have no idea why they would have done that. Either way, Pointillist are
are the best. Is it the biggest bone? It might be the biggest individual bone. But he also has, like, all of his other bones included in there. Why would you name it after one of them? If size matters to you that much, then... Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
샴페인을 가져오기엔 너무 이른 타이밍이긴 하겠지만 이 전투가 성공적으로 끝나면 모두의 희생을 기리며 축배를
Also, it's funny how they consistently call him washed. He's washed up. But like, what makes him washed up? Because the implication is that he made tibia, and that was when he peaked. But you know, maybe my eye is not keen to the artwork. But all of his works kind of have like a similar vibe. Why are they worse? I don't get it. I shall name my life's work The Tiny Bone in Your Foot. It's... I'm wondering why you would name it after any singular thing of your body if it's your entire body. It doesn't matter even if you named it like spine, because it's not just your spine. It's everything. You name it my singular eyeball and hair. I'll call it skin. It's not just skin. Are you stupid? He sucks at naming. And I'm not gonna get a shiny. Rah! God, it's so loud. Why doesn't Merceau... Wait, question. Does Merceau have, like, a state that he can... Never mind, I answered my own question. I was gonna say, does Merceau have a state that he can go into in which he puts on a furry mask? Yes, he does. I just haven't seen it yet. My bad. In my defense, I've seen none of the animations. I don't expect them to be super wow because he's a free unit, but surely they're decent. The units are so... The enemies are so squishy, they die before... They die before we can close... We can close up shop. Wait, is corporism about keeping the artwork alive? Like, because all of the ring stuff includes, like, bodies and shit. Is the draw of corporism about the livingness of the tissue? Why is Angela overlapping with Chised? Alright. EB. With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? That's what she just said. Ryoshu kept glancing around as if searching for someone, but unfortunately no other... Fortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right. Where the hell were these lot coming in from anyway? Weren't just the first wave had more of the sods legging it in from the back like they'd been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? What precisely does the designation another corridor refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall. The one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall, designated it as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggested we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any new information to share? We're planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as if she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it like she'd locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you, like hella stuff. Some parts are kind of fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so...
I got nothing. I never once regarded that fucker's room as home, and my memories of it are all fragments at best.
The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way that it could. And accompanied by its tremors, we began to move out toward the corridor of the middle. I miss the ring already.
Maestro니.
He
He said it! Maestro!
Oh, each loop on the triple coiled ring on a maestro's fourth finger. Oh. Represents an art piece that established the maestro's claim to title. Has not been as resonant. I see. So he did peak. Was tibia the piece that made him a maestro? School. How many nodes are in this so I can know how long I'm gonna be trapped here? Poor Gregor. The heck? They swiped everything that wasn't nailed down. Fret not, I espy thither half of thy worldly possessions, articulated fixer figurines, video game cartridges. I'm not talking about my toy box, Kay. I had hella many of them anyway. My TV's gone. Couch, too. As Kira said, only a conspicuous empty space was left where the television and family couch set used to be. Oh, those LCE researchers hauled them away. From the sound of it, they're going to set them up in their staff lounge. As for the leather and the ornaments, they said they'll be selling them off. Yeah. Otis seemed to notice something the moment she caught Kira's wistful look. The corners of her lips curled into a faint smile as she spoke with feigned nonchalance.
Who knows? With sufficient cooperation, maybe they'd be more receptive to the idea of returning those items.
Assuming much? Never said I wanted them back. Anyway, I'll tell you all about what I know, so come this way if you want in. Those two doors here made from paper and wood connect to S Corp. And that one reinforced with steel, that one leads to V Corp back streets where, having lived here and made frequent use of the doors herself, Kira was clearly the right person for the job of identifying where each door Wayfarer Company had asked us to explore led. Directed by Kira and accompanied by Alan, we checked the doors one by one. Good work. All data seems to match. Thank you for your cooperation. Until there was just one back door left to open.
I know this ain't anything new, but I gotta say, these back doors are just too bloody convenient. And portals, too. I ain't doing anything shady like the warp trains either, is it? Yours is as simple as turning the knob and entering. Seems to me you'll outpace your business rivals in no time. 14 nodes?
Thank you. I'm a bit hard-pressed to agree with the too convenient sentiment when it comes to using backdoors and portals, but since your intent was to claim Wayfarer's superiority over the current W Corp, I'll take that as a compliment.
Did I say something wrong?
Every technology comes with a cost, Heathcliff.
Aptly said.
While this has been a workday relatively free of casualties thanks to the quality information you have provided, do understand that Wayfarer Company's primary service includes pathfinding, path security, and path maintenance. Each of those services is fraught with life-threatening dangers for our employees. Some never return after embarking on a pathfinding journey. Some are killed while battling monstrous entities, whose exact dangers haven't even been confirmed yet, that appear in liminal space between paths. It also costs a pretty penny to keep the secured path, secure. I'd say our operating cost is on the rather steep side, especially considering that we're also trying to prevent our rivals from taking this corner of the market. Thinking back, I don't think I've ever seen Alan enter a door to a new location with his helmet off. It must be one of his precautions, just in case. Maybe his dry smile and an unsettling lack of reaction to anything are hints that he's simply seen too much to be fazed by most horrors. Doesn't mean he's not a jackass. Still, our work's gotten considerably easier for this job thanks to the help from everyone here. Honestly, this partnership is working much better than I'd expected. Very well then, let's take a look at the last door. Ah, it's the door Papa used to walk through all the time. I followed Kira into the door, and the second I crossed over the threshold, a breeze carrying an oddly familiar, salty smell tickled the tip of my one of my clock hands. This one seems... We're bugged. This one seems connected somewhere in the Great Lake area, it seems. Welcome to U-Corp's giant Stingray port ship. Stingray, huh? Why does that ring a bell? Hang on a minute. It's that place, isn't it? That port ship that has Salon de it's probably Malo. The private hair salon. We gotta get out of here! Heathcliff chimed in with a shudder as though the sheer weight behind his words terrified him. Brother, that's your fault! Doth it signify, then, that we shall finally be made an audience to young Heathcliff's and his hairdo most luscious? Ugh, quit it with the luscious nonsense, lass. Why encourage me now when you were so cavalier about blasting my villainous arse back at the lake? Indeed. Alas, 'tis true that punishment wrought upon our merry band hath severely outweighed the crime. Wouldst thou not agree, young Heathcliff, that to put the coupons to use would remedy thy pain a smidge? Ah, bugger it. I ain't even got anyone to spruce up for anymore. Yourself, silly goose. Sweet! Then can I use him? You're regulars at the how do you say this? Molo. Papa would ask the middle fam for a favor and he'd bring loads of coupons back home. They give away a hair coupon every 10 visits, you see, so what am I even yapping about all excited? Kira, who'd seemed ready to launch into a cheerful rant, came to an abrupt pause like a bike tripping over a ledge. Her face fell as she lowered her gaze and scuffed a pebble away. Looking back on it, I guess Papa did hella care for me, so why? But it's also true these guys went out of their way to get me out of there even though they didn't know me so well. Ugh, why has it gotta be so complicated? Matthias gave you that unesthetic BC? The heck's a BC? She doesn't even have a bowl cut. Bowl cut. Bro, listen. Like I said, that's not how you shorten these things. For some reason, Ryoshu seemed almost cheerful to hear Kira correcting her acronym. It was reminiscent of that self-satisfied look she'd get after confusing us with these acronyms, especially during the early days of our bus journey. Oh my god, just like Araya, whoa. Thinking back, ever since Sinclair's translations became reliable enough, the sinners had less reasons to voice their frustrations with Ryoshu's acronyms, which in turn gave her fewer causes to snicker about. I'm not sure why, but something tells me she might be making her acronyms ridiculously incomprehensible. On purpose. Whoa! Everyone acts shocked. If your conjecture is correct, Executive Manager, she has one tasteless sense of humor. From what I recall, the toys and games he was into were pretty retro. Yeah, they could take all those collectibles that guy has. They could probably sell them for a ton of money. Must have been annoying to play along. At first, but the more I played along, the more I got into it. Still corny and juvenile as shit, though. I know aught of that conflict within thee. Trifling and apocryphal, They may be, yet are all compelled to peer hinderwards at the interest of the family. Yeah, I wanted to know what Papa was into to really get what he was talking about. Besides, need to know these things if I wanted to chat him up at all and talk about a mutual subject, so... He'd tell me about you all the time, Yoshihide. Proud shit. Not a day went by without him saying stuff like, Yoshihide learned this in 2 days, or, yo, this was Yoshihide's fave, you know? He liked the idea of having a daughter, but he didn't actually really like Kira as it. He just wanted Yoshihide back.
Too bad I wasn't there to tell you that his words weren't worth shit. I once thought of him the same as you do now. A good man, at least among the nurse fathers, caring enough to bring me gifts. But then one day I realized that he'd never understand the things I really cared about, even if his life had depended on it.
One day, thou sayest, pray tell, was there aught that had changed thy perception of that man?
I don't remember when or why, just that it happened.
Wait, I might know this. Wasn't it something that happened at school? Papa told me things started getting awkward between you and him ever since you quit school.
Bullshit. I've never been to school. I never even thought of wanting to go to school. Matthias must have been talking out of his ass again.
Huh? No way, bro. I even saw a clip of it.
What?
Papa showed me that video when he was teaching me how to use these doors. Even saw baby you going, I'm off to school, Dad, in that video. So I'm pretty dang sure.
But I don't.
As Kira went on, Ryoshi's confidence from her initial retort seemed to slip away.
Couldn't blame her, so much of her memory had been mutilated.
Ryoshi didn't sound like she was denying it out of hand, though. She seemed to mean it when she said she'd never been to school and had never wanted to. And I wanted to glimpse the fragment of memory that made her say that. The moment I willed it, a scene from her past suddenly flashed before my eyes.
Very well, Yoshihide. I'll register you in an
Institution, that is. Not entirely dissimilar from school. There is a subsidiary of the ring. Oh, that's probably why she knows memoir.
academy. You sure it was a school, not like an art academy or something like it?
Wait, that kind of makes more sense. Yeah, must have been an academy, not a school.
Okay, dead ass, what's the difference? Academy of Art. That's a stupid name.
Ryoshi muttered a few words as though they were pieces of a puzzle she was assembling. Then after a brief moment, she turned to me with an astounded scoff and a look of mild irritation. She's literally just like me for real. I don't remember shit. It sucks. Cluck.
You deserve a smack.
Ah! Then lightly smacked me upside the head with her scabbard.
What was that for? This memory sucks. I could have just been just fine without it. But at least I got to remember the incident that changed my perspective on Matthias.
Dad, how do I go to a school? School? Yoshihide, well, I don't see why you would wish, let alone need to go to such an institution when we, nurse fathers, are here to provide you with all the education you require. You would later find our unique style of homeschooling to have been much more enlightening than trudging through any of the nest's formulaic education systems. But Dad, I saw him in a picture book. And I don't have any friends here. Oh, Rhiannon is pointless. But it is true that there are qualities that can only be learned through group erudition that engenders competition. Very well, Yoshihide, I will register you in an institution that is not entirely dissimilar from school. Really? I intend to send Yoshihide to an academy as part of my educational curriculum. There is an Academy of Art, a subsidiary of the Ring. Companionship with other talented children of approximately her age will nourish the spirit of inspiration that will guide Yoshihide's growth.
The prescript approves. But Callisto, I'll tell you now that you might be making a mistake.
And how are you so certain of that? Do elaborate if you can, hand puppet of the prescripts by whom every aspect of existence is articulated. What do you even know of choice, of what is right or wrong? And off they went. Perhaps a little more situational awareness would have prevented what is to come. Callisto found me a rather decent academy. The artworks that used to scare me when I was alone weren't so bad when I was with other kids. No, that's not quite it. It'd be more accurate to say that I started to understand people's perspective on beauty. Of course, I would, when all we ever did was nod along to the lectures and spout purple prose, all the while making pincushions out of people's bodies like it was nothing. Our lesson today will focus on corporous techniques. Now, take a good look at the diagram here, then the mannequins before you. Weave the blood vessels in the same pattern as the diagram, and I don't know why we're even learning about corporate stuff in this day and age. Right? I don't get what the point of this slog is, trying and shaping blood vessels to make a color that a drop of ink can do better. I read that in a book. Oh, so is corporism about blood vessels then? Ugh, I'm more excited to learn about Cubist technique than this crap. Honestly, why is this washed up movement even a part of the curriculum? It's just boring, shallow gore stuff. No, it's gory, but it's boring and shallow because you guys are bad at it. Aw, you mad because your daddy's a lame corporist? Oh, is he? No wonder her stuff is just as... Ow! I was taught that people who said bad things about my family deserved to get their butt kicked. And bad-mouthing Callisto wasn't actually what set me off. I didn't have any special reverence or attachment to family like Matthias did either. It's just what I was taught to dislike, that's all. Just one of those tantrums of a kid that age. Kids will be kids and all that. I'm home, Dad. Hey, buddy, you're home early. Oh man, must have been playing rough today, huh? Got dust all over. I got into a fight. A fight? Yeah, they kept saying dumb stuff about class stuff, so I smacked him. He's gonna fucking kill those kids. What about you? They didn't hit you anywhere, did they, buddy? On my cheek, but it's okay. I punched them this many more times. Did I do good? That's my girl. Dad? Where are you going? Oh, you know. Just got some business to take care of. Why don't you sit tight and work on a coloring book? Daddy'll be home before you know it. Okay. Is it bro business? No, it's, family business. I ain't seeing what's so bad about taking care of your own. Then snotty sods don't learn respect lest you beat him to it. Okay, but an adult shouldn't be beating a child in any circumstances ever, you silly goose. You think you know that. If only he'd been a simple-minded fool like you, then the story would have ended right there with a pat on my head. What? Papa, I mean, the middle doesn't stop there. Never does. You hurt a member of the family. That gets you written up in the book. Yeah, and he did what he did in the end. Terrorizing these children. Huh? Ha ha ha. There you are. Yoshihide, is class starting already? My diligent little girl. Wonder who she takes after. Dad? I know. I said I'll be back before you know it. But I got a bit lost trying to find my way through the ring bastards' tricky mazes. You know how they are. Oh yeah, and there's so many sniveling brats here. Well, as for their crimes, they slapped my buddy's face hard enough to leave a mark. That's an arm for ya. As for the instructors, well, anyone would agree that they did one sorry job of keeping these tykes under control. That case, pursuant to Title II, Section 52 of the book, execution by beheading. They clearly don't got much use for what sits on their shoulders, eh? How do you like it, buddy? Papa's the best, ain't he? How dare he? Such senseless, barbaric violence.
Why did I say it like that? Uncultured, uncivilized animal. Do not be discouraged, my dearest Yoshihide. I have eyed out yet another academy worthy of your talents. It is a much more significant and prestigious institution this time. I assure you that even an intemperate berserker like Matthias won't dare force his way into such a place as he did the previous academy. I don't wanna... Yoshihide. I don't want to go to an academy. I don't want to go. I don't need friends anyway. For all his posturing, nothing that was ever important to me held any significance to Matthias. He took a lot away from me just to feel good about himself. So I hoped he, more than anyone, would never find out about the things I'd held dear, because I was afraid he would take them away from me like he did the others. But he'd always catch on faster than he had any right to. Every contract that took me away from the House of Spiders made me tremble in anxiety.
Sorry, should not have gotten written up. I don't think the kids know. That's not their fault.
I was worried about... I don't remember what, but I do know that I could never stop thinking about my room. So, whatever occupied the room in my absence must have been the most precious thing to me in the world.
The scabbard, which had been stirring lightly as Ryoshu recounted her fast, soon began to rattle audibly.
It's doing the thing again.
Ryoshu patted the scabbard with a gentle, reassuring hand. The scabbard that was once Araya, a memory without attachment. It appeared to me almost as though she was pacifying a crying child.
Why do they keep saying shit like that? Because we can tell the scabbard is Araya. And she's here. Is Araya here in the room with us? Yes.
Seeing that gesture, Heathcliff briefly cast a sullen, yet faintly expectant gaze between Ryoshu's scabbard and my device. He must have been thinking back to his last conversation with Catherine. But Catherine's existence, unlike Araya's, was erased by the golden bow itself. Is she stupid? I doubt this device could do anything for Heathcliff at this point. From everything we know, the ring nurse fathers seem to have been the least... Oh wait, that's Otis. From everything we know, the ring nurse fathers seem to have been the least awful parental figure in your childhood. I've been saying... And then she's like, actually... Huh, yeah. Didn't know Robo-Unk was such a radical guy. He sent you to an academy like you wanted and even got angry on your behalf?
Oh, hazy memories. Almost forgot to mention. A few days after that, Callisto left a snowman by my pillow as a gift. It was made of heads.
Heads?
Yes, decapitated heads. From the incident at the academy, threaded together into a sculpture.
They are tired of people saying that Callisto is the least bad out of the 5 nurse fathers.
Thinking back at it, it was one sorry excuse for an art. He's sorely mistaken if he thought that some low-effort bullshit like that could make me feel better.
Okay, but like, my opinion is still not changed. Maybe in contention with the Pinky Nurse Father, but all of the other ones are so fucking bad. In comparison, that seems like small shit. At least he tries to care.
Could have spared us the details, lass.
I don't know. Well, with that covered, y'all want to head back before we get beaten up by Ricardo again?
Hang on.
What's up? Gonna get that luscious treatment before heading back?
Shut it! That ain't it. Look there, those blokes walking out of the salon.
I have to laugh. Oh, never mind. It's not funny. It's normal.
Falvis, ain't they? They found us.
Did they found us, or are they just up to some shit?
It would not be odd to find a field branch of the Ring's art movement in different districts of the city, especially that of the Falvis scale. However, various evidence, such as their masks and the fact that our group has immediately drawn their attention, suggests that they are the same pack as the one making regular incursions into the House of Spiders.
This is LCB, speaking to Team Leader Allen, requesting immediate commencement of lockdown sequence.
Copy that.
Then why don't we... Holy shit, guys. Stop. Bloody hell, what? Don't you know where you are? You are smack dab in middle protected turf. Calls a scene and bros and sisters of the middle will be here any second. Oh, yeah, I guess that will be a problem. We've already drawn the ring's unwanted attention. We certainly don't want the middle coming after us to the House of Spiders as well. Sounds like you've got a GI. Talk. Ever played whack-a-mole? Like, why give ourselves a countdown? Just head back through the door now and beat whoever thinks it's a great idea to walk through the door. She puts forth a sound strategy, Executive Manager. As long as there's no high-ranking officer among them, it would be to our benefit. And then the high-ranking officer walks through that door. All right. Well, let's do as Kira says. That was quick. Ellen blinked, shooting us a puzzled look as our entire squad came pouring through the door long before he finished the lockdown sequence. Due to newly emergent complications past the door, we have concluded that this location is the optimal point to intercept and engage infiltrators from the ring. This location, you say? Ah, wait. That door leads to a zone under a syndicate or wing protection, doesn't it? Better idea to fight here, then. Happy to work with someone who's quick on the uptake. It wasn't long before the Falvis began rushing in through the open door. I didn't want to summon them while they're relaxing, but, well, can't be helped. And I summoned the sinners back to work. Beep beep, I named the Eevee by accident. We're gonna hit 10K! Yay! Go my Malkuth! Go my Malkuth! Go my Malkuth! You're just gonna have to win. Kind of funny. 100 more to go. Yeah! We're totally getting it. Unless I get it beforehand. True, 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 true. Anyway, wait. There we go. Little quieter.
공포에 사로잡혀 바닥을 기는 모습은 어디서나 별반 차이가 없네. 양반이 떠올랐어.
I forget what node I'm on. I feel like I'm on node 7, so I'm halfway through. This sucks. Why do they make everything longer? Longer, but with less to say. Makes you think. Kidding, kidding. I loved Kanto 8. Is Kira Ishmael any good? Because I do like Kira. Man, I'm gonna be so sad when we get Lucio Heathcliff. I want to play a Lucio so bad. I love that guy, but I won't play a Heathcliff. I will get the ID, though, just so I can have him on my account. I miss Lucio. I should steal him. That's a good idea. Actually, I have my document up right now. Let me do that.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다. 제가 늘
I did it. Yay! She's pretty fun. Use Middle Sinclair too. Well, I don't have Middle Sinclair. I don't have the middle IDs. It's one of the only. It's the only. No, it's one of the only loadout achievements that I've not done because I don't want to use my shards on them. I don't want Middle Sinclair. I'm waiting until we get Middle Otis. Beep. Anyway, shiny Eevee. Anyway, shiny Eevee. Anyway, shiny Eevee. What the heck? I was gonna say, Callisto might be washed up, but Hong Lu's one of the is the strongest nurse father, one of them. But then it's like, wait a minute, we only have 2. No shit, he's one of the strongest. But he does seem just like pretty generally strong. Also, I'm biased because I like bleed. So yay, more bleed.
He has so much attack weight just easily accessible in his kit, so that's pretty swag. Don't kill them, I want to see it. Stop killing them so fast, I want to see the animation.
도와주시는군요.
신개팀에서 다 망가뜨린 줄 알았는데 이번에도 멋지게 해냈네.
Oh, they're gone.
엔젤라님에게 잔뜩 칭찬을
Bye.
당신의 노고는 이곳을 좀 더 멋지게 바꾸는
Thank
데
you for your
좋을 거예요.
contributions, Chisan.
같은 그럴듯해 보이지만
He's still
하나도
going.
재미없는 소리 말이야.
약지에 감긴 세 바퀴의
And he just
반지는
does 10
마에스트로가
more
되기
billion
위해
damage.
인정받은 세 가지 작품을 뜻하죠.
8, bro.
지금 제 작품이
Like,
많은
why is this
시선을
shit so
울리지는
long?
못하더라도
Halfway.
여전히 반지의
Miseries, that's what I'm in.
선보이고 있는 것 같네요.
Okay, and that about wraps up the middle corridor. Thanks to you folks, we managed to cut the door catalog workload by 80%. I really appreciate everyone going the extra mile to check each and every door. Makes my life a whole lot easier. Woo, lad, Sinclair is definitely the better middle ID compared to Don Quixote and Merceau. He'll want to use his counter to build stacks faster. I mean, yeah, I bet. Because Sinclair and Merceau came out in Season 3. I don't expect them to be good. It's all thanks to the manager's excellent strategization. Next up is the Thumb Corridor, but actually, we found a lot of intel lying around here, so we just need you to check up on some of the doors in the basement. Intel? The manager expresses interest in the aforementioned intel. Ah, that. In the Thumb Corridor, we came across a bundle of papers detailing the comings and goings of the Thumb members and the orders they were carrying. Whoever wrote those logs has been diligently keeping them updated. Last entry was not too long ago. While the contents of the notes weren't all that interesting, they helped us get an idea of where each corridor leads to. Valentina's shitty scrap papers. She'd been keeping up with that useless shit that whole time. She wants to rejoin the Thumb so bad. Useless shit? Remnants of her desperate search for a thread to cling to. Alright, Merceau and Don Quixote do give envy powers, so they have a place. Yeah, but do they really? When you could use a magical girl, Don Quixote, and not a Merceau? You found one of her backup ticket hoards. I've marked any door that needs work done with a drone. There should be about 3 or 4 of them. While you guys do that, I've got some leftover work here to take care of, so... I've been noticing this throughout our interactions. But whenever anything irrelevant to his work came up, Alan seemed to have a way of unhearing and maneuvering right past it as though he didn't even register what was said. Recalling our conversation with Kasara at P-Corp, that deeply uncurious indifference might just be the one essential personality trait to go on as a corporate entity in the city. Understood. We will explore the areas past the marked doors and return here. Thanks a ton. Well then, I didn't even pick it up. With Alan returning to where the other Wayfarer Company's employees were huddled around, we decided to follow the corridor to the left. Hey, there's someone in there. More of the ring, maybe? Going by their silhouettes, they're unlikely to be members of the ring. Jesus Christ. Come on, Lady Lip. Get out of my way so I can see. It's the detective. Some stubbly guy and, that annoyingly airy dude. Sounds like Moses, Gregor, and Hong Lu, respectively? The trio's conversation grew clearer the closer I approached them. You okay, fella? You bumped your head earlier. Haha, fine as a fiddle. Just a minor fall. This is the 3rd time it's occurred. We ought to discuss this issue with the manager once the consultation is over. I think I'm seeing a bump on the side of Honglu's head. Anyway, you know what to do, right? If at any moment you see signs of... Don't worry, Gregor. You made it through the explanation and the footage both. You're going to be fine again. I believe in you. Look at me now. We're right where it happened. But your arm is stable, see? Ironically, fear tends to grow most unmitigated when it is distant and unseen. I understand what you might be worried about, but I don't even see the earliest importance of it. So don't hesitate to share the unfiltered thoughts that arise while you're in here.
I know what I saw in the footage, but I'm still having a hard time believing it. Or, I don't know. Maybe I'm just avoiding the truth when it's staring me right in the face. My case is nothing like Don Quixote's. She just needs to keep her shoes on and it's all good and dandy for her, isn't it? Things don't work out that way for me.
Whatever they're talking about sounds hella deep, guys. Y'all sure about eavesdropping on him like this?
That geezer's always weirdly cagey about himself. Maybe now's our chance to learn more about him. Yeah, well, maybe there's a reason for that, Heathcliff. He's sharing such an IS about himself for once. Why walk away?
Because then he's gonna get hella mad that we were eavesdropping. Don Quixote gives a nonsensical interpretation of Ryoshu's acronym as Kira rolls her eyes out of exasperation. Between the bickering sinners and Kira, however, Otis stands in silence with an inscrutable look on her face. She's listening to the exchange between Moses and Gregor like a woman possessed. All right, let's keep listening and then. Otis was right.
Otis was right, damn it. She was right all along. The war isn't over, and it never was. It can't ever be over as long as this fucking joke of a gift stays attached to my arm. Barbed words.
Now, let's revisit a question you couldn't answer while the footage was playing. Hopefully it's become easier to answer now. You've been using that arm to fight just fine so far. How?
I don't mind fighting hostiles or enemies. I'm just not the kind of person who worries about people trying to kill me. For killing my comrades, that changes things, doesn't it? I can't even control it. There's nothing I can do to even brace for it. It's unstoppable. Like some kind of bomb counting down to unleash a disease you'd never even known when its symptoms will set off.
Even Heathcliff, who was always the first to step in when people began to spiral into self-hatred, stood in conflicted silence, his lips drawing a hard, straight line. Besides, Gregor wasn't wrong in... Oh my god. Gregor wasn't wrong in that, at present, there wasn't any way to stop his transformation should it recur again. And we've still got a good chunk of the journey left. Eventually, we'll have to.
No matter what lurks in the past of us sinners.
That's so crazy that I was literally bringing up this scene earlier in context of Otis, and it's being brought up again.
Even if they've killed hundreds, thousands, no, tens of thousands of innocent people, will you still embrace them?
We'll have to eventually confront an even darker, bleaker truth of the war. Can I really trust Gregor not to crumble under that inevitable pressure? I see. You're afraid you'll end up hurting us.
Well, that's... At first, I couldn't give a hoot whether or not I accidentally murdered some of you.
It's a bit saddening to hear that.
You know how it is, Honglu. The bus team, we didn't exactly get off to a rockin' start. But through our journey, I've become to think of you all as my comrades. And I was okay with that because I had too much faith in my own weakness. When I realized that I had grown so weak that I couldn't even take down some backstreets thug with this arm, I was relieved. Imagine that. The same arm, my arm. A weapon that stabbed the heart out of countless people during the smoke war. I'll be honest. When that Hohenheim fella said that I was an exception, the thought alone made me hope. Exception. A potential to be harmless, weaker than even a non-combatant like Yisong. It made me hope for a life that didn't sound so bad. We all know how that went, though, don't we? Blew up in the worst possible way. And after all that, I just couldn't bring myself to fight again, because I no longer know when this fear would eat me up again, because I'm constantly afraid of this damn gift manifesting again. The same fear you've carried all this time. How'd you endure it before? Badly. Barely. Holding on to the idea that the living's gotta live on and nothing else. Really brings me back years. The memories are so clear that it's like they all happened yesterday. I didn't even check the EV. Best you kick me off the bus before push comes to...
That can't be the answer, Gregor. You can always walk away, but the danger of our journey won't leave with you. Dante and the rest of us will still be facing an endless repeat of peril. And it's not like leaving the bus will bring you peace to your heart. Our deaths can be reversed should an incident occur, even if it comes at the cost of Dante's suffering. The same can't be said for most people in the city.
No, that's something I never expected to hear from you. I guess you're right. If we're seeing this through to the end of... to any kind of end, this would be the place to do so. Not many places in the city have some warmth to them like this one does. Boy, this consultation thing is pretty embarrassing. I mean, it's not like I was forced to go through something as traumatizing as yours, Honglu. Truth be told, I'm not some special case. Everyone who's participated in that war must have gone through more or less the same experience. Miss Moses, Otis, even Valentina, that piece of work.
We can't attach a number to our misfortunes as if there's something to be measured. When I fled from my past, I tried my hardest to avert my eyes from it, but you, Gregor, you're not like me. Every few steps that distance you from the past, you'd come to a pause to spare a look toward the path you had walked. All those years I let slip by. All those that slipped you are dotted but with fathoms of suffering that are both ineffable and beyond measure.
Different experiences, different pain. Still, if there's one thing common to everyone, it's that trauma leaves after effects that linger for a long time. What are yours? I dislike loud noises and people who talk too much. They sound too much like the cacophony of the war. Like screaming comrades who resented me, even as they lay dying, and the wounds they left in my heart bled me dry.
But I thought you were fond of Miss Ezra, Miss Moses.
I've talked too much. That aside, haven't you heard your fill? Might as well come out from that corner you're hiding in.
Aw, man, they knew we've been eavesdropping this whole time, or dropping eaves this whole time.
Actually, I was waiting for the right time to come out and say a few words, but I really couldn't find an appropriate moment to... I would have had to share this with Manager Bud or the rest of you fellas sooner or later, so I don't really mind, but... What is she doing here? TA.
Temporary ally?
No, temporary accompaniment.
Don't be an asshole. I'm working my ass off to help you guys. Pleased to meet your acquaintance.
You're right on time. I've been working on a theory, but I don't have all the clues to be absolutely certain. A word from someone in the know may immensely improve my confidence in the theory. Kira, do you know which door the Thumb's nurse father was most attached to?
Huh?
No, duh. Duh. Is that supposed to be obvious?
Didn't you guys all see her? You think I'd chat up a scary lady like that?
Dude, she was beating the ever-loving shit out of Lucio every time I saw them together.
Oh, yeah, he went down fighting you guys to the end, huh?
Yeah, said stuff about her generosity and all that and fought till he died.
Damn, that's unexpected. Being real here for a sec, I thought he was totally gonna swap sides. God, I wish.
Really? That lad? Why is that?
You know, the vibes. You guys don't know him because you haven't seen him long without the scary lady always looming over him. What's up? Gonna stab her right in the spine?
You.
Look, I think you might be training wrong, because, like, You're not improving as much as you should from all that grind. Let me show you what I learned about sword swings from this comic book. That is not how my master instructed me. The textbook cannot be permitted to have even a slight deviation if it means to repay the debt it owes her. Why are you so obsessed with that crap anyway? You don't even like that old lady. But you're not so different from me in that regard, are you? Bro, what the heck are you talking about? I love my papa. Seriously, I thought things were gonna crash and burn before Yoshihide even came home. Suppose textbook and I had that in common. If this one doesn't know, let me redirect that question towards you, Ryoshu. Hopefully this touches upon one of your more intact memories. Do you know which of these doors the thumb nurse father showed particular attachment to, or the door she used the most often?
Why ask me? Fine. Yes, I do remember. Don't even need clock's help to piece it back together. It's that one. The door with the metal pieces dangling from it.
Holy shit, I almost died out there. Son of a bitch, a fucking fly? Where'd those G-Corp fucks even drag those gross pests from?
Mom, are you okay?
Do I look okay to you, Ticket?
No, not really.
I'm fine. You know I don't break easy. You should have been there to see me tear the head off that G-Corp vermin, Ticket.
But, Mom, your leg's bleeding a lot.
Here comes another mission. Boy, they really can't do shit without me, huh? So much for a fucking break. Fuck is this?
Bandages for you.
Is this kid serious? They've got truckloads of expensive treatments on the ready to patch me up the moment I get back to the... Oh, okay. Never mind that. Hey, this works. Mom? Sit tight and don't start any trouble. I'll teach you some sword techniques once I'm back.
Must have been her years in the smoke war.
Yeah. Fighting in the war took a lot out of her and left her perpetually exhausted. But she marched to every battle with a smile, stopped drinking, stopped beating me too. Like a blissful idiot who forgot she was still neck-deep in the inescapable pit called the House of Spiders. Well, the ironic peace didn't last. Sometime after the war ended, someone she called the consigliere of the Thumb visited the House of Spiders as a tutor. And that's when she went right back to drinking herself into a shit-faced stupor day after day. The beatings returned, and so did the edge in her profanities. It's pathetic. Oh, hold on. Why, though? Sure, I was on the losing side, but wasn't Valentina on the winning side? A war hero at that. Ever heard of the regulation that prevents smoke war participants from moving into I-Corp and K-Corp nests? The common thread between these post-war rules is that they make the lives of veterans difficult. Dubious rules that don't discriminate between winners and losers. I see. Then there must have been some things going on behind the scenes there as well. But that doesn't mean that the back door will drop us into a trench they dug during the war. Or doesn't that mean the back door will... Yeah. Yes. And Gregor will be the one to open it. Wait, me? Yes, the others can do it for you, but what would be the point? Did you sure this won't just end up giving him more nightmares? I don't see how this helps him in any way.
We do not have any means to treat whatever it is that slumbers within his arm.
However, I would surmise that the underlying cause of his sudden transformation was not the arm itself.
Okay.
After this node, I'm probably gonna call it for the night. And what? It's trauma. His arm took control after his psyche was crushed by the weight of the unspeakable memories coming back to haunt him. It's not because the arm went berserk that he started reliving his painful past, it's the other way around. Isn't it so? If you can come to understand that the war is really over,
and that what others say, no matter how closely they echo the past, is not necessarily aimed at you. Then, you may be able to loosen your grip on the fear and anxiety that your arm could metamorphose at any moment. Oh my god, that's the name of his book. I'd say it's a good place. Okay, slay. I also took a Tylenol PM, so like, I'm kind of eepy. While her suggestions may seem blunt, it is one of the basic treatment principles of M-Corp psychotherapy centers. Fine then. I guess I'll open it. Gregor walked up to the door, grabbed its handle, and then paused, taking slow, deep breaths. And with one arm, he gently opened the door. Holy shit! It's Sayori! Why are you running? You should be taking the lead on the front lines with our G-Corps banner held high. I don't want to die. It's nice to have a place to go back to. I don't remember Yuri's voice. She died 10 billion years ago. Oh, right. Happy 15th birthday. But you can't possibly have the cheek to call me cruel. You G-Corps pests were far more messed up than I ever was. Ripping people apart, cannibalizing them. You were nothing but a swarm of fucked up monsters. I thought I'd woken up from the dream, but I was still. Wait, but the war. I want to know what happens in the war. Is this node long? Oh, wait, one more couldn't hurt. One more couldn't hurt. Yeah, okay. Wait, he's here. Holy schmoly. Yeah. By the way, where would you use LobCorp Gregor?
그러든가.
책임은 몫이
부름이라.
나를 불렀나?
부름이라면
엄중한 심사 부탁드립니다.
The war. This place. Huh? It's just a boring old office. I was kind of ready to be shook, thinking we were about to walk into a war zone or something. No, but like, arguably, oh, that would fuck me up if I were Gregor. Because the physical evidence of the carnage that the smoke war wrought is just, it's not even just covered up. People work here. People live their normal lives here. Oh my god. I did like Centipede Gregor with Faust and Hong Lu to get them charged faster. Not Centipede Hong Lu, Bird Hong Lu. Because yeah, a Centipede Hong Lu, good in a charge team. Where would you use that other guy? You recognize this place?
Of course I do. My last job before Limbus Company. And my desk was over there. Here's a tip, fellas. When you're working in an office like this, always get a corner desk facing the wall if you can help it. That's the hide from the boss man. Out of sight, out of mind, you know? You can do whatever you want that way. Work, chill. Even just freak out in terror at the slightest sound of metal clinking. Nobody'll catch you. Nobody'll think that you're a bother to other people. Gregor grins, a bitter, mocking smile directed at himself. The only downside of this desk arrangement being people walking up behind me to get my attention. Bird Gregor, burner sinking, he can clash with any skill once. His passive is, yeah. But, like, is he good? I guess I would use him in a burn team. I know everyone says that, Fire Fist Gregor is really good, but I feel like I'm using him wrong because I can never get him to work super well for me. So I'd rather use a unit that I actually like. Higher-ups just had to holler, "Hey, Vetire!" And I'd scuttle right up to him, but others can't do that. So when people walked up to me from behind, I'd get afraid that I might cause an accident. Vet hire. Must be about the post-war veteran special employment. You're right, but I couldn't possibly complain. Wouldn't have gotten that job without it, you know? Not everyone was lucky enough to be considered for that. I was better off than most.
Gregor?
The head manager, Ted?
Gregor whipped his head around, his hand instinctively reaching to his other arm. There was an unfamiliar man in a clean suit standing behind us.
It really is you, Gregor. And I see some new faces with you. Wait, you folks must be the account that guy on the other team asked us to leave the meeting room open for. Landed a new job, huh? I see you've got a new employee card right there. So how have you been doing? Me? Same old, same old. Well enough. It's not like I've got anywhere else to go, right? I'm not surprised you found new work so soon. You were always a dependable guy. Is the pay good? How's life, man? Oh yeah, you were gonna sell that, commemorative, coin. Some kind of medal, right? Hope you got paid good money for that. That's an insane comment. His fucking war medal. Look at me asking, how's life to a fellow citizen? Can't imagine anyone would have anything good to say to that, huh? Moving on. Hope no one's hounding you with vet hire shit over there. No, not at all. There's none of that here. Hey, that's good to hear, man. Glad you don't have to deal with that dang jackass of an exec VP messing with you like he was a war veteran himself. You know how many years I had to hear that geezer bragging about how he profiteered from the war, pulling himself up by his bootstraps, how about in every peril is an opportunity to be found, blah, blah, blah. I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? That guy, huh? Is he still taking his sauna breaks during work hours? What do you think? His seat misses his ass every day. Oh, and get this. Remember how we used to call you special employment fellas Nepo Force? A few days ago, his name showed up in the HR report. Guess what it said? Turns out he was lining its pockets with kickbacks when we were choosing the fixer office for a partnership project. There's about to be a vacancy in the office real soon. Really, isn't he? An actual Nepo. Thought he's the president's family. Yeah, man, it's that bad. It's what anyone ever talks about by the water cooler. If there's anything I learned here, it's that people are obsessed with back in my days. Are all kind of like him. They hate how their glory days are behind them. Kind of like a distraction from how pathetic they are now. Just live a more interesting life. And then you won't have peaked in the war. And hey, a backstreets kid like myself don't have glory days to look back on and yearn for, right? Looking back on it, it's all doom and gloom, you know? If you ever hit rock bottom, you know the only way to go is up. You've said something like that before, yeah. Ha ha ha, yeah? I guess it's my own brand of bullshit philosophy. Oh boy, look at me running my mouth in front of our customers. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, don't worry about it. That's a pretty unique prosthesis you got there. No worries, but it seemed that you were on your way to submit those proposals. Gee golly, I'm late. Thanks for sending me out of it. I'm gonna get one heck of a scolding. Anyway, Gregor, hit me up sometime, eh? Let's go out and catch up over a drink or something. Sure, if I get the chance. The man who seemed like Gregor's former co-worker hurried away, but he didn't forget to wave us a good-natured goodbye. I can see a little bit of him in the way you talk, Gregor. Come on, I don't sound as old as he does, do I? Moses, who had been quietly observing Gregor and his former co-worker chatted, exhaled a light stream of smoke and slowly began to speak. Many of us who returned from the war seem to suffer from a certain misconception. When we are told to remember, it does not mean we are bidden to live through the nightmare of the past over and over again. We are not being cursed to relive the pain and suffer in it. Both Ezra and I, we are both still trying to be free of the misconception we inflicted upon ourselves. Oh my god, they're Yuri war vets? It's not like I remember because I want to. Well, if you can't bring yourself to forget them. Might as well include in your memory the fact that the war has indeed ended. Fine. You're not wrong there. Gregor stared at his right arm for a while, quietly contemplating. Manager bud. Can't say I can give you much reassurance, but just going on with my life seems to be the best answer for now. I want to ask if you're okay with that, though. I'll manage, but it's you who's going to have to deal with the aftermath.
Gregor would always say the same to those suffering from the cruelty inherent in living. Still, live on. Just live on. Yet, even as his lips spoke those words, his eyes would take on a desperate and unfocused look, shaded beneath despair. Today, though, the gloomy gray seemed to give way to just a hint of the blue sky beyond. This may be no more than a single ray of the sun peering through the dark clouds that have long suffocated the sky. It would probably take much more than this for the shadows to be fully lifted, but don't worry. Don't you worry. I'll be fine. It's a big step forward for him to have addressed even a little bit of that persistent anxiety from his past. When we emerged from the door, we saw Otis. We see my browser struggling severely. We saw Otis facing away from us, her weapon drawn. Oh my god. Help! Help! Wait, I don't think she even followed us through the door. Yeah, she would do that. I was gonna say, who the fuck are we gonna be fighting? Huh? You were here this whole time. Yes. I was told by that Allen figure that someone has to stay behind and watch the door during these operations. So I stayed, and I found them. Canto 9 had one enemy, and now this Intervalo only has one enemy. Make it make sense. Ugh, man, those asshats again. Weird. The corridor is not a place for those newbies to be roaming around on their own. Well, clearly they're up to something. As you can see, a few invited guests have decided to visit us through a different door. I looked past Otis, just in time to see more Falvis pouring into the corridor through a different back door. They must be trying to find a way to get to the Ring Nurse Father's corridor. Well, we can't just let them through, can we? Kill them all. Why are we so aggro towards the ring? I feel like most of them have been relatively chill, all things considered. The people just wanted to recover the artwork.
너희 보조사사들은 나와 다를 바 없을 거야. 그 사람의 계획에
Hashtag the war.
결국 버려진 신세잖아. 나는 살고 싶어. 너희도 마찬가지일 테고. 그러니 협력해줬으면 해. 단 하나의 책을 찾을 수 있도록.
크게 의미 있는 성과는 아니지만요.
Alright. Only 30 away from 10k on EV. Yay, quintuple digits. Yeah, no, that's kind of correct, except you'd probably say 5 digits like a normal person.
정확하게 간파했습니다. 제 예상만큼
This multitasking has been working surprisingly well. The only thing that doesn't work is that when I put the Joy-Con in my right hand and the mouse in my left hand, I get very, very confused and I get way slower.
사실은 그렇게 대단한 일도 아니에요.
But this is high genuinely not good for my hands.
혹시 칭찬을 받았다면 엔젤라님이나 마이코트를 부르는 편이 나았을 거예요.
감상은 어떤가요?
You're gonna have to win these neutral clashes so you can get SP, silly goose. I've had enough of people slandering Priest Gregor.
기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요. 나왔어도 이 정도쯤은
신기의 팀에서 바람을 끓인 중에 멀쩡한 장비가 남아 있었나 봐.
Some of the equipment remains untouched. That's a little silly.
그 누구도 이곳에선 안전할 수
Oh yeah, have they fixed the thing in Mirror Dungeon where... Oh wait, no, not have they fixed it. Why the hell in Mirror Dungeon would you just get stuck on the transition into turn 2?
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요.
How annoying.
당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠.
Dang. Starting stream earlier is such a good idea. That's a thing? Yeah, no, yesterday I was doing my mirror dungeon. And I did the... I picked this pack. And I know, like, I did my win rate. We got through turn 1, and it got perma-stuck. I had to close my game. Well, I guess the game didn't freeze, but I couldn't input anything on there. I could, like, leave Mirror Dungeon, but I couldn't, the turn wouldn't continue. Yeah, it was a bug. I was able to do it earlier, so I guess it was fixed, but I'm like, why did that even happen? That's so weird. I want to see the whole goddamn animation. Go my tibia. Do you hear all the yappage on screen? They do not shut up. I love how one of his skills is just enabling his apprentice. Like, okay, slay. Albina truly got the shortest end of the stick in terms of the kids. The apprentices. She have no character development. We just know that she made her body into a sword. And she's gotten a partial lobotomy. Poor girl. She just has a cool design working in her favor. And the Faust is strong. Or at least she feels strong. Yeah, Foul Merceau. Kind of a whatever. Kind of whatever animations. She would have been the sword on a long enough timeline. Stop. I mean, that was the whole thing of being like, well, I've not really figured out how to do this. But in Faust's Up story, they're like, all right, well, at what point this thing is all of my body. At what point is my artwork more me than myself? Oh, and that's it. Well, that feels kind of like a good place to leave off, like you said. So that's where we're gonna leave it off for tonight, and we can continue this tomorrow. I knew starting early was a good idea because this shit always takes fucking forever. Intervolage should not be taking this long. Wait, I'm gonna commit heresy. You wanna see me get a little silly with it? Yeah, that's right, I'm skipping my EXP Lux. And I'm skipping my Thread Lux. Can I review the ticket? No, I can't. I want the effect one. Whatever. I guess one last EV check for the road. It's not a satisfying number, but I will get to 10K. Alright. Well, yeah, good night, y'all. Hopefully when we do this tomorrow, it won't take super long, but it probably will. Good night. Bye.